Good evening. Welcome to the program. My name is Steve Leader. I'm your host. I am thrilled to have with me royalty in the studio.
Oh, listen, it's
We have Ken Johnson in the studio. Welcome, Ken. Thank you so much
hello,
for being here.
everybody. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really, it's really a pleasure to be on your show. You know, we've been talking about doing this a long time, and
We have.
now we're here.
Now we're here, and we're finally actually doing this. I mean, I think viewers have known you not from your own, not just from your own show, which is America's Real Stimulus Package,
Right,
which
right.
comes on after this one.
That's right. So be sure to tune in, folks. Don't touch that dial.
Right.
After this show comes on ends, I'll be right with you.
And as a matter of fact, what happens is, when it goes to those infomercials or whatever the news thing, we'll actually be swapping positions and mayhem breaks loose in the studio for about 8 minutes, and then it's back on your show.
Yeah, that's right.
Which
that's
is really
right.
great.
Yeah. So, Stephen, let me ask you a question. How did you get involved with public access?
Well, I actually been involved in this for about 3 years, a little bit longer actually. And I started through Access SF. I was in a rehabilitation program, and they wanted me to do some volunteer work. And I thought public access television is the way to do it. This is like close to my heart. I felt like I need to do this, so I volunteered for Access SF. And then Arnell said to me at the time, "Hey, we got these live shows. Why don't you do one?" And I thought, this is a great opportunity because you can do almost anything in this
Right.
particular segment, can't you?
That's right. That's right.
You can run videos. You can do all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's really the Flash Studio is really it's a one man show, and that's where you are the producer, the director, the TD, the switcher. The whole thing is in your hands.
Right.
And I'm really in love with it.
Well, let me ask you, when did you get involved in all this, and why?
Oh wow, what a question! Well,
We've only got 20 minutes, so
yeah, well, we go way back.
Yeah.
I got involved in television, man, a long time ago. I guess it was in the 70s. I was selected. They had a competition for the Bay Area Channel 9, which is right across the street from us. They
that's
had a
KQED, right?
KQED. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had a contest, and they wanted some people to be on a training program to learn how to produce and direct the TV programs, working with the community.
Right.
So I was selected. I was one of 10 selected to a program called Open Studio, and we learned how to produce and direct TV programs in a real studio. At that time, the videotape was 2 inches thick.
I remember
It was
that
2
stuff.
inches
Yes.
thick,
Yeah.
and they didn't have any character generators. I mean, credits and all that. They had a art department where you would put your credits you write your credits down and take it down to the art department, and they would stamp them on a black board.
Right.
And then when you had a show, the camera would shoot the credit, and you would superimpose it over. Just like if one
Right.
camera was on you, then camera 2 would be on the key, and they would the TD would put your credit on, would superimpose it.
Why did you get involved? What made you start off on this project?
Well, initially it was photography. I got into photography, and I liked it so much, and it kept me off the street. It kept me off the street.
That's why I'm doing it
was,
as well.
I was headed in the wrong way until I was introduced to photography by Mr. White, Eugene White's brother, the artist.
Okay, I'm not
And he
familiar with
introduced me to photography, and I was a photographer. I used to work for the Sun Reporter. I had my own article, my own on the scene with Ken, and that led me to video production. I got involved with when they had the Sony Porta Pack. You remember them little half-inch?
I did that in school,
yeah.
actually, all that. I did take film and television in school.
Yeah.
So when did you morph into public access broadcasting? Because that's
When public access first, I got involved when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
They had a studio on Folsom Street, right above the. It was like a little. It was like a shed. It was like. It was. Man, it's been a long time ago. It was black and white at that time.
Really?
Yeah, it was black and white. Public access was black and white, and.
With steam-powered cameras, no doubt.
No,
not quite that.
Yeah,
bad,
yeah. It was. They had the half-inch. You know, they have the half-inch. Tapes that we shot, and
You're quite a technical guy, aren't you? You love all the technology. I get this feeling.
Well, no, I'm not really a technical guy. I really like public access because you are able to produce a show, and that show can be handed down. You're producing something that's really valuable if you and then you have a possibility of people seeing the show, and maybe they like how you look, and you might get discovered, or you might get contacted to do a film, or you might. It's just, you reach so many people, just like this show here. Yeah. The viewing audience, we don't know how many people are watching. And remember, folks, this is a call-in show, and the phone number is 415-861-6648 if you want to ask either one of us a question.
That's a good idea. I haven't actually put that up on the CG, which is the technical term for character generator. But so it's 861-6648 if you want to call in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you got involved, and
so I got involved with public access, and I started training kids and youth because of what it did to me. It took me off the streets, because once you have a production, you have to edit it. You have to look at the program and find out where your edit points are, and you spend a lot of time doing that. And so it's a good way to keep. It kept me out of a lot of trouble, because I was thinking about maybe I would be a famous movie maker, but then I had a family, and I had to get a job, so I drove the bus for 20 years. So I had to put this on hold.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was doing it, after work and stuff like that. And so now I'm retired. I put a lot of time into it now.
So you've been involved with this ever since the beginning. So what, 10 plus years, you would say, or?
Yeah, well, I've been involved in a long time, man.
I guess my question is, did you find fame in doing public access? Are you getting recognized on the streets?
Well, a lot of people will see me, and they recognize me on the streets, but that's not what I'm really in it for. Right. I'm in it for the what I can give back to the community. Like, there's a lot of projects out there that people do that they need recorded, and we provide another source, another view to the viewer to look at what's happening in their community instead of watching. It's a lot of stuff that's on TV. It's shot well and it's produced well, but it's nothing. You can't get nothing out of it. You got a phone call, I think. That thing was flashing.
Okay, let's get that phone. All right. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Let me just bring up the call. Hello. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Speak up.
Hello.
Hi. Who is this?
Yes. Ken Johnson.
Yes. How you doing, sir?
Okay, Ken Johnson. Do you remember a guy named Jim Larkin?
Oh, Jim Larkin. Hey, what's happening, Jim?
Yes.
Oh, we can't hardly hear you.
I'm not Jim. You remember another guy named Cheek?
Yeah, you got to talk a little louder.
Yeah, talk a little louder. Do you have a question or a comment? I mean, you guys obviously know each other, so.
Yes, that's Jim Larkin. He's quite a guy.
Yes, I'm calling on my cell phone.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm calling on my cell phone, and we got a bad connection. Is there a number where I can reach you back? Give me a number for you.
Okay, try calling us back again at 861-6648, okay? And we'll see whether we get a better connection, okay, Jim?
Thanks for calling.
Thanks. Try again.
Now, the
But
guy.
that actually proves you. People do actually watch this show.
Yeah.
You know,
Now,
which is brilliant.
this guy Jim Larkin is an unsung hero in the community. He built his own recording studio. I was there. He built it from the ground up,
Yeah.
and he did that. He's always been a martial artist teacher. He's trained kids. You know, he's trained a lot of young people to not be aggressive fighters, but as a way of self-discipline. And I've been doing video I guess since he was doing the sound, the audio sound recording. He produced the Whispers singing group.
Yeah.
A
not
couple of
familiar
singing
with that,
groups.
yeah.
He's quite a guy.
Let's get
Anyway,
back to
okay.
this concept of doing public access television, because I think for me it's one of the things that sells it for me is I try to offer people the chance for 22 minutes to change the world, is how I put it in a nutshell. That you come on this or come on my show with, if you want to, you have a cause that you're interested in, or even a perspective. I mean, I've been trying to search for some sort of direction in this show, and what's happened, like just recently, has been I've been talking to people, and I met one guy who was showing me the toothbrush and some soap that he got from the Cathedral Hill Hotel when, as part of Occupy SF, he raided the hotel on January the 20th. And he's telling me what the inside scoop is as far as what really happened. When somebody says to me, well, the media didn't portray it right, this is what really happened, then my ears crop up, and I get really excited. So I feel like, okay, we got something that we can actually work with here, and then we can do a show. Had also another guy, same party I went to. I think I meet some of my best contacts at parties, by the way, who is the most statuesque drag queen I've ever seen in my life. And I don't normally do shows about drag queens because Stu Smith does such a wonderful job doing the drag community. However, this guy is so different and so unusual. I'm looking forward to having him on my show. So in the last couple of days, I found there is some direction coming from the universe as to what this show is about. People have messages that they want to get out there, and they're being shut out by the regular media, and this is an entree for them to do that. So, in your experience, what kind of people are you getting on your shows?
Well, my show is called America's Real Stimulus Package, and I try to bring in people just like today. Today's program, I have two dynamic people. One, first guy, his name is Leonard Priestley. He's a Army veteran. He was in the service, served his country, came out and tried to bring. He's helping a lot of people. He has a security business where he's training people not just to do security, but to be better people. They have training programs. It's a dynamic program.
That sounds
His name is-
incredible.
Yeah. So he'll be on right after this show, and also have a guest. He's a doctor. His name is Justin Morgan. He looks like a kid, but he's a doctor, and he wants to do more. He wants to get involved in the Democratic Party, so he'll be talking about that. So I try to deal with people that's doing positive things in the community, so the community will know about them and maybe participate in what they're trying to do. Because it's up to us, folks. I got involved with public access with the Flash Studio,
Which is
doing this Flash Studio. What we're doing.
What we're in right now, yeah.
Yeah, he's the producer, he's the director, and he's everything. He makes sure the set is together. Like today, we had moved the curtain back.
Yeah, there is actually a television back here.
It's a we had to. So he's responsible for how the show looks.
Right.
So now Otherwise, if you're in another studio with 3 cameras, then you have somebody doing the switching, you have a lighting director, you have a lot of people involved.
Right,
and-
ideally you have camera people,
Right.
the stage manager, and a whole bunch of people in control. So it's a whole
Right.
lot of people that has to
Right.
be put in.
So now with this particular situation, I got involved mainly because they had a situation in San Francisco where they were trying to eliminate the JROTC. And I couldn't understand why they wanted to eliminate the JROTC. So that's when this public access, this Flash Studio, was in its infancy. It just had started. So I came on, even though I'm not a good speaker. I came on and
I just wanted to check
Is
to see
it
the
Flash?
sound was up okay, because we had a knock at the door. And
right.
live
So-
television. Okay, so carry on.
So what happened was, and I think that's when I met you over at the Market Street studio. You was doing a Flash Studio show,
Yeah.
and I wanted to say something to the public about the Unified School District trying to take away the GRTC program, which was totally ridiculous to me because the GRTC program has a 99% graduation rate.
That's pretty good.
You know, I mean, and so why would they do that and then and they didn't have nothing to replace it with? So even though I used to stammer and all that, I did the show because I had to get my views out about this situation, and so I did that show for about a year, and then I got comfortable in front of the camera, and now I'm not the best speaker, but I feel okay about it. And that, folks, this is what this Flash Studio is for you. You know what I mean? When you pay your public access bill, you're paying for this studio so you can get involved. I mean, you might not be perfect, but so what? I mean, the more you do it, and then if you have a message, then your message gets across.
Right, and part of I think the raggedness of a live show is part of its charm. I'd like to think anyway. So you mentioned you used to stammer. So you've actually overcome psychological blocks to do this show.
Yeah. I mean, because now instead of listening at myself, I'm more involved with my guests. I try to give them my full attention, so it sort of eases that tenseness. It's more about getting the message across from the viewer what my guest has to say, and that's I'm just involved. And then aside from that, I do a lot of productions outside.
You actually mentioned before we went on the air that this is like a love affair for you.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
I think the same for myself as
yeah,
well.
it's you get a good feeling behind doing a show, especially when you get calls. And let me say that again, folks. This is a live call-in show, and the phone number is
861-6648. And Ken, you watch the light because I'm paying rapt attention
Okay.
to it. I can't see the light over there.
yeah,
You know,
right.
like-
They got it in a
so
kind of weird place. Yeah,
So
so
we work within the confines of what we're given, which is part of the challenge of doing it, I think.
yeah, it's a wonderful. It's wonderful for children and kids and young adults to get involved in television
Because it gives
production.
you a structure.
Yeah,
and-
it gives you, and then it's a teamwork situation. I'm talking about the Flash Studio, but there are a lot of avenues to television production, and when you have a studio, or you take out a camera and you have to, you have to have other people with you. You have to have a little crew, so that
involves community
it
building.
involves
and-
community
right.
and team building, so and that's what I think a lot of kids don't have, how to get along with one another, and that's where television really helps out.
I think actually that's a very important point because I became involved with this as part of trying to get out of my little basically balloon,
Yeah,
if you will,
okay.
bubble of my lifestyle to try and meet different kinds of people, but get exposed to a much greater variety of what San Francisco has to offer. And this is one of those avenues that
And-
one can pursue.
And has
to do
it helped? Has How do you feel so far? Now you've been doing it for how long?
I started actually doing a show in February of 2008.
Okay.
No, 2009. So it's what, 3 years now?
Okay, so you've been doing it about 3 years. So,
Yeah.
so how do you feel this? Do you think you're going to continue doing it? Have you met people? How do you?
I have met an incredible variety of people, and I'm staring at the clock and I realize we've got just over 2 minutes left. I've met an incredible variety of people doing this show. Not as I wish there was more of a connection between my fellow public access producers, because I think this is why I'm so excited about the show we're doing right now. This is the first time we've had the two of us
Right.
together in the same studio.
Right now, I think if they had if the Lord blesses the station and they open up the main studio, I mean, we'll see a lot of producers in there. And the main studio, that involves teamwork. You have to have 3 camera people. You have to have a audio person. You have to have a director. I mean, it's a team effort. And the good thing about the studio there is that when you finish the show, it's completed.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like when you get a camera, you got to go home and edit it and put the credits in and all that. You know, once you're in that studio.
I think that's also part of the beauty of doing something here in the Flash studio.
Yeah,
is
that's
because,
right.
I mean, at this moment we're taping a show. It's going to go out on YouTube, and you can find it if you go on YouTube and do hashtag TPWSL, which is the program with Stephen Leader.
That's Stephen
And
Leader, my
it's
buddy.
right. This is my buddy here, Ken Johnson. Okay, we've
Okay,
actually got
oh,
45 seconds.
Okay, now folks, now don't touch that dial because
Mr.
I'll be coming
Johnson's
on next
coming on.
with America's Real Stimulus Package, and we really appreciate all of you watching, and you know, try to participate. Come
I
down
think
and
it's
take a look
important
at
that
it.
people try and participate.
Yeah, come down and just look at the studio.
and get involved. I mean, it's a pretty neat thing to do. It really is. It causes me a lot of heartache and anxiety and stuff like that, but any love affair, I think, does.
Right, and this
Yeah.
is yours.
Yeah.
This facility is for the people of San Francisco. That's why it's called public access.
Right.
So,
And there we go. There is America's Real Stimulus Package coming up in just over 8 minutes. See you later, San Francisco. Have a good evening.